It's November, and the cold is setting in. So snuggle up as we honor a woman's passion for quilting that has enhanced the life of a whole community. Recap DC's own Art All Night and chat with a chef bringing more flavor to the DMV. Let's go. We all know that the DMV is full of talented artists, both homegrown and from all over the globe. To encourage that DC creativity, we have the Art All Night Festival.
I'm Bonnie Trine. I'm the VP of Marketing and Operations here at the Capitol Riverfront Business Improvement District in Southeast DC. Art All Night is here tonight at the future Emblem Plaza here in the Capitol Riverfront bid on Lower Barracks Row. We're really excited to be doing this for the first time. It's important for us to enhance these public spaces with both art and musical performances, all kinds of art. We actually are enhancing Emblem Plaza as part of a vision plan for the underpass in Virginia Avenue Southeast that runs along our Business Improvement District boundaries. And this is really just the first step, really enhancing Emblem Plaza. And so by bringing more activation and engagement to the space on a Friday evening, it was a no-brainer to participate in Art All Night at this special location.
My name is Christina Noel, and I am the Executive Director of the Anacostia Business Improvement District. Art All Night is actually, it started with one group. It's actually all over the country, but it started downtown with Shaw, Main Street, but it grew, and when I came to be the Executive Director of the Anacostia bid 4 years ago now, I just embraced it and knew that this community, just in 2 years of just talking with the community and looking at things that are going on, we have a major underground kind of cool organic art scene here. I mean, it is so rich. It's got a true vibe. So one of the things that brings all of the community together, residential and the commercial community, commercial district, is arts and culture. I mean, there's no denying it. So I embrace that, and Art All Night gives me the opportunity to really kind of show that. We've been designated an Arts and Cultural District, an official one. Thank you, Mayor Bowser and her administration for that. And now we are going to be able to really spotlight a lot of our artists that have been working hard for so long.
It's important for us as the Capitol Riverfront bid to create these inclusive spaces for the community, and Art All Night is of course a great opportunity to gather in this community space along with residents and neighbors and visitors and really enjoy Friday night. The weather is great, and bringing art to the people through murals and musical performances is an opportunity for us to further connect and gather with the entire DC community. And with these wonderful musicians, popular local musicians, we have Haru Peacock, the violinist, along with some other great local, down-home local bands, and we're really excited for the evening.
participating in Art All Night because it shows people in the community the arts that are around them, in the city and from the city. As a local artist, Art at Night is great because I get to meet people in my community, in my local area. I'm not performing for people that bought tickets. I'm performing for people that are walking by in their neighborhood, in their community. I'm performing for people that are my target audience that may not know about me, but now they know about me, and now they're going to look me up, and now we're going to continue to build. This is my second year doing Art All Night, and this was the most fun I've had doing it. The last year was great, but this year was just more fun because I was excited about it because I did it the last year. So for anyone that hasn't been, I really encourage you to go, because although DC may not be seen as like in Atlanta or California, we really have a lot of tremendous talent and artists out here. So please support your local artists, support your local DJs, your local whatever they do. You know, DJs, promoters, hosts, singers, rappers, producers, anything. We have a melting pot of creativity in our city, and we need to support it because we can get to the top. All it takes is for us to support each other.
We are a local brass band from the District of Columbia comprised of alums from HBCUs, Howard University, Bowie State University, the University of the District of Columbia. We have BSU, and we also have Indiana University. So Crush Funk has been around for about 10 years now, since 2011, 2012. Over the years, sort of acquired some good musicians with good hearts. We're a deeply community-oriented band, so you can find us pretty much all over the region. Art All Night is a wonderful experience. I've got to see it expand over the past few years, and it's wonderful because it gives back, one, to the community, but also to help promote and establish the small businesses that we have here in the city. That's important because we just need that type of support and growth in all of our neighborhoods throughout the city. And coming out of the depths of the pandemic, it's important for everybody to try to strive to rebound. And Art All Night provides that type of stage and that type of opportunity for the small businesses and for us to help support them.
I would really love to thank WHUT for the opportunity to be with you and to share all of these different wonderful artist pop-ups and experiences with you and your audience. So hopefully you'll come back and you will come and visit us again. You'll encourage your audience to come to the Anacostia Arts and Cultural District. We have a lot of great things that are going to be taking place, and I do appreciate and we're very grateful for WHUT and all the things that you do.
Yes, DC is a foodie town. From five-star dining to food truck fanatics, we enjoy discovering new foods and meeting the people who make them. In this segment, we visit pop-up phenom Chef Jorge.
When I was in high school, I got a dishwasher position job. You know, I mean, I saw my first paycheck and thought I was rich. And then, you know, little by little, he introduced like little bits of prep work, some knife skills were introduced. And then once I got to a point where I was doing like lobsters during service.
Oh, wow.
You know, that rush and like that feeling of like the pressure of not messing something up. Right. I just completely fell in love with it. And I knew I wanted to be a cook at that time. I didn't know I wanted to be a chef because that guy was always angry. So I wanted to be a cook, and I went to culinary school right after that. And you know, once I was done with that, I started cooking, and that was it.
Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Artico. I'm your host, Asia, and today we're in a new spot. Yes, we're in a spot in DC. It's probably one of the best kept secrets. It's called City State, and I'm here today with a pop-up chef. His name is Chef Jorge, and he has Luxburger DC. What's going on, Jorge?
How are you?
Good. I'm gonna call you Chef.
All right, perfect.
Chefing it up. Tell me a little bit about what you made for me today.
So today I made you a plant-based burger. So we usually do red meat, but you can always substitute a plant-based patty for it. We use Beyond Meat. and I just use some grilled onions, dill pickles, and some garlic aioli for you.
All right, about to get my grub on real quick. I just gotta do a taste test. I saw you over there with the masterpiece and I couldn't wait. I don't even know where to go first. Let's see. I'll do it like this. This is so good. Okay, so how did you come up with the concept of creating a pop-up?
So it was always an idea,
Okay.
and I was always scared to take the leap from going to, working full time to kind of just doing this on my own.
Right.
And then me and my girlfriend had a conversation. She runs her own successful business, so it was like I used that really as motivation, and yeah, I just did it.
I love the barbecue sauce with the onion rings.
All right, so you telling me how much you love this place, City State. Tell us how you even came about to finding this spot.
I really like this place just because they work with a lot of minorities, a lot of Black-owned businesses. So this is the bar right here, the bar area. As you can see, they do a lot of collabs with Black-owned businesses, and this is Big G from Backyard Band. He has actually 2 different beers here.
That is so dope.
My friend Scooty he owns Sandlot. He also has his own beer. They sell it exclusively at Sandlot, but City State brews it as well. So like I said, it's just a bunch of, collaborations with a lot of local people, people that are like very well into the culture, and it's always a good thing,
That's amazing. I love that. I gotta get my own beer.
Oh, this one's good.
I gotta get.
I want to get my own beer too.
You gotta get your own beer. You gotta get your own beer. Luxburger, DC. Tell us about this wall.
And so, so this wall right here is pretty much every neighborhood in DC. As you can see, they got 16th Street Heights, which is no longer called that anymore. Van Ness, my old favorite sushi spot used to be there, is gone. But they have a picture of every neighborhood in the city, and it's really cool because every time somebody walks in here for the first time, this is the first thing they go to.
That is, and I love how you associate everywhere with food. Like,
look, I can tell you a restaurant in every single
spot, right? Yes. All right. So what's more? What will we see next?
So actually, next Wednesday, I'll be starting a second food concept because I want to have more days here.
Right.
But I don't want to oversaturate, their food with just straight burgers. So I'll be starting a sub concept. Okay. Which was my original idea.
Okay.
But now that this has, become pretty successful, I have time to mess around and see what works.
All right, so you're gonna start your brand new concept. You're gonna do your second element. How do you describe your food, if you could describe it to everybody?
So I would say I like to keep it simple but very chef-driven at the same time. So the first thing I think about is honestly plating. At one point in my career, it was not one of my strong suits. People eat with their eyes first.
We do.
So yeah, I do too.
We do. It's like, oh, that looks good.
So I just kind of honed in on trying to just perfect how do I make this look, really good, as opposed to just slapping some mashed potatoes on a plate and throwing a pork chop on top,
All right, so are you surprised about how your success is just kind of skyrocketed? I mean, people know about you all over the neighborhoods, and they're talking about these burgers. I know I'm gonna be talking about this burger. Are you surprised about that?
I still get surprised every time. Every time somebody comes up to me and says, this burger is so good, every time it feels the same way I felt the first time. But no, yeah, I mean, it's people that come here specifically for it. on the days they know I'm going to be here. So it feels really good every single time.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we're excited to see what's going to happen next. We can't wait to see your next go around. Let everybody know how they can follow you on social media and how they can come by and get one of these Lux Burgers.
Okay, so if you follow the brand page Lux Burger DC on Instagram, we only have an Instagram. And then, I'm on there as well. I'm at Chef Jorge Delorto. It's in the bio in the burger page. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram. We got a TikTok too now. Okay. So we'll be doing those soon.
I can't wait. TikToks and more. Definitely hit him up again. Chef Jorge here at City State. It's been such a great time. Listen, you need to follow him on everything, okay? At Lux Burger DC, and order a few meals if you want to get him to come by and be a personal chef, right? I love it. Once again, I'm your host. I'm Asia, here for Artico. Thank you for watching. Art is most beautiful when it can enhance the lives of others we may never meet. Mary Lopes was such an artist. We talked with her daughter, producer, and artist Sharon Drayton to discuss her mom's passion, her legacy, and the inspiring connection she made with the Hattie Holmes Senior Center.
So my name is Sharon Lopes Drayton, and I'm actually the senior production manager at WHUT. And Artico is one of our shows. And in conversation with my colleagues at HUT, I had shared with them the fact that I was donating my mother's quilting supplies to a senior center, and had mentioned that perhaps one of the stories for Artico could be about the senior center and women quilting there. Well, in true WHUT fashion, that wasn't enough. We had to go deeper, and so my colleagues, who I love very much and want to strangle at the same time, convinced me to get in front of the camera to share my story with you. My mother was an avid quilter. My mother, my mother is Mary Lopes, and my mom passed away in 2016 of breast cancer. This actually is a photo of her in her happy place. She was an avid quilter, and this is around the first time she got breast cancer. The first time, she actually had it 3 times, and the third time, unfortunately, she succumbed in 2016. Mm-hmm. Over those years, it took me a long time with the grief process to even be able to touch her sewing room. And I just couldn't. She and I had spent a lot of time together. Although she was the quilter, I was also very involved with her quilting. Mm-hmm. Initially, it's because I would make patterns for her and help her. There's a couple quilts that she had. One, she had quilted it, but she wanted sayings on it, and so she liked my handwriting, so guess who got to do the handwriting for the quilting? And then in the later years, when things got a little bit difficult for her to remember, I would go to quilting classes with her, and machine classes, so that if she got stuck, she could ask me what it was that she learned. So we spent a lot of time together doing that. So my parents lived with me since 2010, and so when she got sick, I was like her primary caregiver. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until my father moved to live with my brother in Brazil that I had to kind of go through the house and figure out what I needed to do. And one of the things was to go through the quilting room, the sewing room. My mother had every quilting knick-knack, supply, fabric that you can possibly imagine. She had 2 closets full of fabric, 3 sewing machines, just everything. And so I wanted to share her materials with people who would enjoy it and would get some use out of it. So I reached out to a college friend who happens to be an avid quilter and does absolutely gorgeous work. And she lives up in Rhode Island, and asked her if she had connections here in DC. And she did, and so she gave me a couple names, and one of the names was Miss Barbara Allen, who happens to be connected with a quilting group that's at the Hattie Holmes Senior Center.
We are celebrating 15 years of the Hattie Holmes Senior Wellness Center here in our community. Joining us is the director, Miss Teresa Moore. Hi, Miss Moore.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're here participating in the celebration. How are you feeling this moment?
It's been very exciting. It's been tiresome.
Okay.
And nerve-wracking, but in all, it's been a great afternoon and day celebrating 15 years.
Talk to us a little bit about some of the programs you've implemented for the seniors and why you feel so strongly about the program.
So with a background in public health, wellness for sure is up front. So mind, body, spirit, and soul. And we plan programs accordingly. For the most part, the fitness classes are the number one reasons why a lot of the members come in. And so we support that need by offering an array of fitness classes. There are 18 fitness classes a week.
So I know that you also implement a lot of arts. Besides one of the obvious, the art of quilting, what are the other art programs that you provide?
Right. So before COVID, we had an array. So we had the crocheting, we had knitting. There was also availability for the members to join in. And those other activities are very slow to be added back to the schedule. It's just a lot of the members that typically would kind of be interested in those activities haven't all ventured back to the summer yet. They're still at home.
Right.
But the quilting has taken off. I mean, they meet 3 times a week almost.
Wow.
I know they're in person 1 day a week, and it's a large group. I know that it's part socialization, but then also a learning activity to be able to learn to hand quilt instead of that machine quilting.
It's healing. And nurturing.
Yes.
Food for the soul.
Exactly.
So I reached out to Barbara and asked her if they would be interested. She told me that they had a quilting group there. They did hand stitching. There's several ways you can do quilting, either all by hand or you can do machine quilting. My mother did both, and then towards the end included embroidery into her quilt. And Barbara said they would love to have the donation. Originally I thought, okay, I'll put things together and I'll take a truckload. By the time I finished, and I've got a pretty good size SUV, I had made 3 trips with quilting supplies to the senior center to the point where it was all they could accept because there was so much. It was interesting because, you know, when someone passes, you always look for the signs. And my mother's been kind of quiet, but with this, when I made the decision to do this, I pulled up and on the window was a sign that said Mary Center. My mother's name was Mary, which freaked me out a little bit. But then when we were talking to the different women who were involved, one of the women who teaches the quilting class, her name is Mary. And she looks just like my mom. That was too much. It was like, okay, lady, I hear you. I get it. You know, I understand that this is what you want.
I had been volunteering at another senior center, Columbia Senior Center on Taylor Street, and they closed about a year before. And I was teaching quilting at that center. So when this center opened, I came up to volunteer to offer my service as a teacher. I started quilting. My daughter and a neighbor started an after-school program in my neighborhood. So as one of the activities, I decided to learn how to quilt. So I went to the G Street Fabric on Rockville, and they told me about a person that was quilting. So I went to her house, and she taught me how to make a pillow.
We're here at the Hattie Holmes Senior Wellness Center, and we're celebrating the art of quilting, and joining us today is this amazing woman. Please help me welcome Miss Joy. How are you today, Joy?
I am wonderful today.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. So, quilting, it's an amazing art, and it's also healing. How did you actually get started?
Can I tell the truth?
Yes.
I got started, my grandmother was a quilter.
Okay.
And so I grew up seeing what could be done with discarded fabric, scraps and so forth. My mother did not care for quilting, but she made dresses. And there were often scraps of fabric on the floor, and I just started collecting them. And then I decided I'd make a quilt.
At what age?
I hadn't started first grade yet.
Wow.
And that quilt, to tell you the truth, was made with safety pins because I couldn't thread a needle yet. And my mother, who used a sewing machine, old-fashioned Singer treadle, to make dresses, was not about to let me touch the machine.
So tell us what this center means to you, loving the art so much.
I do love the art, but this center is like having a country club membership. The people here are just wonderful, and I can come and exercise. And of course, during COVID, I did that on Zoom. But there's just so much, and fabulous quilters.
Fabulous quilters.
Fabulous quilters from whom I have learned a great deal. And of course, I learned a great deal from Mary McWhorter, who is our teacher.
Okay.
But I've even learned things from new people who were just starting out, who would approach a project that they were doing a little differently than I would.
Okay.
And so I've learned that as well.
I really think that my mom would be very pleased to know that her work is going to live on, and that people who enjoyed quilting as much as she did are really going to be able to enjoy it, and there's life after. So I think she'd be giggling. I really do.
That concludes another episode of Artico. I'm your host, Asia. Thank you so much for joining me as we celebrated 15 years of the community here at the Hattie Holmes Senior Wellness Center and the Mary Center. Today we learned about how a daughter's love became a beacon of light to the community as we celebrated her life and legacy of her mother, and she made a huge donation in kind to the Hattie Holmes Senior Wellness Center. As always, we thank you so much for watching. We have so much more coming your way, so stay blessed and keep watching Artico. This program was produced by WHUT and made possible by contributions from viewers like you. For more information on this program or any other program, please visit our website at WHUT.org. Thank you.